it out.
Get out the beach! Get out the beach! Hans, get off the beach!
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the GeekVerse podcast. This is episode 509th, or the 509th, I don't know. I'm the Cheese Cult member, Travis Snell, and I'm joined by...
I am the 20-minute man, Kirklin Patzer.
I am the soap drop and Dylan Muss.
I am the rank of rankings, Taylor Field.
There's a
Not the
specific-
field of fields tonight. The rank of rankings, field of fields could have been such a good combo.
Mhm. I'm very curious. I think I know why your name is Soap Drop and everything like that. I feel like maybe other people didn't pick up on it and stuff like that, but there's stuff to talk about. Because, yeah, tonight it's a MCU's pretty much centric show, even though I saw, so Taylor, somehow you had to sneak the Predator into the main thumbnail because the main topic's She-Hulk, but you put him in.
She's in there. She's ranking it with us. She's looking
Yeah,
at
but
them.
Predator's like over her shoulder, not driving the car, but over her shoulder and stuff
No
like
driving
that.
That'll
the
be
car
confusing
today.
for fans.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is Taylor's like, this is my last time I can put Predator in the profile for a while, but it did good numbers on Hulu, so you might be getting more.
Oh, that's the plan.
Most watched premiere on Hulu history. That's
Way to
good.
go.
So, Taylor, where can they find us?
Ladies and gentlemen, you can find us through your internet connection in the search bar. GeekVerse.ca is our home base. GeekVerseCast is our Twitter. GeekVerse on our Facebook.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we got lots of stuff going on this week that even before cast, we're talking about like we don't know when we're going to do certain casts because we got a Patreon review, we got a day shift coming out. I'm reviewing Bodies. We got After 9 happening at Sunday 9 a.m. PST, and I'll tell you how to join that later. I've been doing my daily cast. You got side quests popping off, isn't that right, Dylan?
Yeah, SideQuest this week was a lot of fun. I had a couple guests on from the Nintendo Cartridge Society podcast. Mark and Patrick joined me, and it was a really, really fun episode. They're a couple awesome dudes, so definitely check that episode out. It was a lot of fun.
Nice, yeah. I saw the video version. One guy had a very nice camera. He had a nice like some people do the blur effect and it doesn't look great, but it jived very well. So, yeah, check out that. I'm very excited. I completely forgot Gamescom was coming up, so the like announcements are happening and stuff like that. 2 hours worth.
More
Kiwi-
delays, all that stuff.
yeah. So, we got, and then next week, obviously, what we're talking about tonight, She-Hulk starts, so we'll be doing our midnight reviews for that. So, hence Kirklin's name. They are smaller episodes, so that's good for us. But that will be dropping, which is weird. It's going to be the Wednesday midnight for us because it drops on a Thursday day. So it's a weird
That's what
thing.
it used
Kirk-
to be for something, wasn't it? Wasn't it Wednesday?
It used to be
Going-
Thursday at midnight because
Thursday,
we're on
right.
Fridays.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes,
We're all
okay.
over the map and stuff like that. Which Kirkland still, you haven't committed because me and Taylor said yes. You haven't let us know. I'm asking you live on air about Andor, what's happening with that? Because we said it's 2 midnight reviews back to back too much, and you've never answered. And Taylor every day messages me. he's like,
Andor's
"When's
next
Kirkland
week as
gonna-"
well, eh?
No. It's
okay.
September. It's September 21st. It's a
Okay.
while away, but
You got
That's
more time
wild,
to
eh?
think.
Yeah,
As
give me
in
give it like a month away. August 21st. That's like okay. Check in on me. and then
I
I'll-
guess the
I'll talk to my
listeners
people.
asked during Trash. So Brent and Chris asked. People are very wondering, like, are we getting midnight reviews of Andor? And I'm like, Kirkland's holding us up. Don't blame me. It's not
Well, I
mine.
appreciate you would hold off just for me. That's awesome. You guys
Alright.
are very.
You got 20
call-
minutes. Then when
Yeah. I'll call you when September ends. But yeah, head down to the description below. Everything is there. Links for audio, video, all the shows we talked about. Majority of them have their separate feeds. You can check out our podcast network. I just guested on Marvel Alliance, which was tons of fun with those guys as always. Chat was popping off with some outrageous stuff, but good times were had there. And then Patreon, you want to be heading over there because you get ad-free exclusive early episodes. Just like this week, we released a 3-year-old 2-year-old, 3-year-old plus Hobbit retro. We got more of those coming out. We got Lord of the Rings retros, and everything's ad free there, and you get exclusive episodes. Some tiers all the way up to 3 episodes. And yes, After 9 is happening this Sunday at 9 a.m. PST. That is our listener call-in show, so you can join the Phase 2 tier or higher. Call in. We're going to have tons of fun stuff to talk about. We got little side stuff that Taylor's we've been trying to. You're going to get to talk about your what experience. What movie did we see in the theaters that you want to bring up?
That was Nope.
Right, Nope. Yeah, you've been trying to tell the story. I'm like, no, hold off. So we got lots of fun stories going to be happening this Sunday. And a big shout out to our patrons, producer at the Phase 4 tier.
Oh, look at that.
Airbrain, April of Darkness, Smalley Biggs, and Joshua Wright. Joshua, we are reviewing Mr. Fantastic or Fantastic Mr. Fox this Friday. Patrons, you'll be getting it sooner. So this weekend you'll be getting that, Joshua. So very excited to talk about that and get everyone's opinions, because I will save it for the retrospective, but I don't know if these gentlemen had seen it before. So we will get into all that. Taylor spoiled it. That's
I've
great.
still only half seen it at this very moment. So.
There you go. But yeah, so right now, like I said, we're in the charge to She-Hulk. We're literally, I guess now because it's Thursday, a week away. As usual, I'm just going to go around the room. Taylor, what's just your general excitement for She-Hulk right now? It's the last, because now What If is officially in 2023. We're not getting it till early next year. It's the last MCU show on Disney Plus this year. What is your barometer of Hulkness going on right now?
It's still sitting where it was before, like
Which
pretty
was?
excited. Like we get to a point now with a lot of Marvel promotional stuff where I just feel like they just start spoiling things. They just start dropping all these little clips and everything, little teasers and stuff, and I'll be there for the first, second, maybe the third trailer for a lot of Marvel projects.
You're gonna say episodes. Like we're losing Taylor.
Yeah, but
Very
at this
excited,
point,
but only 3 episodes.
I'm only gonna
Only
stay
3
for 3
episodes.
episodes.
yeah. But
Like
at this
me and
point,
Boba Fett, I just gave up halfway through. Like, I'll come back for the finale, guys.
Can't
did you
blame
come back just for the finale? For that?
No, I came back sooner than that, but it took some convincing for me to get back, because those middle episodes of Boba Fett were brutal. to get
Lasted
through.
longer than the Halo fucking reviews. You were
Yeah,
only there for the
yeah.
first
That's one
episode.
and done. I'll see
Yeah.
myself vote.
Well, at that point, I'm like, I'll at least get back for the finale. But when I'm like, I have 5 episodes left, and you guys have been talking about how bad it is, it's like, do I want to sit through 5 hours of the show? And I was like, nah, I'm just throwing it in the
You
white
do to
towel.
talk about it. Those are some good conversations.
Those are fun reviews. Yeah.
The fans loved it, so you know.
That would have been Travis after like 3 hours in. What have I
Eyes
done?
glazed over.
Yeah.
I need a reboot.
But yeah, no, my excitement's there. I do like we're gonna be talking about some stuff and things, and I'm like some prediction stuff. But like I have one prediction that I'm scared to get into, and maybe that's kind of like affecting my excitement level because I'm just nervous if they're gonna pursue this route with this character. And I'm not gonna say anymore. I'm sure you know, Travis. You know what I'm talking about.
I
You
don't
know
know
what I'm
what
talking
you're
about?
talking about. Did
Oh,
you watch
okay.
the clip they released today? Is that what you're talking about?
Well, I saw a clip that was just kind of like comedic, like fast tracking. It was very much like Law and Order, kind of like parodying a
Oh,
little
yeah,
bit.
yeah. That was
and
fun.
then that was fun. But then it started like speedballing through a few other different things, and it just made me kind of antsy because of other things that I was alluded to. And yeah, I will get into it in predictions, but it has me a little scared. But I'm like excited for the show.
Taylor's talking like he's some scooper, some like, oh, some things that have been alluded
No,
to.
I'm
Yeah.
not dropping time codes like Kirklin here. 11 o'clock.
11:30. Okay.
11:30.
No, I
EST.
didn't watch the whole Law and Order clip. I will say the first clip they released from the show. Don't watch that because that has like a big like scene like reveal and things like that. So don't. It's not Daredevil, but yeah. Kirk Patzer, where are you at?
Yeah, I'm getting pretty excited for this. Honestly, I feel like it snuck up on me. Just the fact that it's actually like next week. But at the same time, like
same
I'm
as,
also
same as Andor next week, baby. Get ready.
that's not next week. I got more than a month for that one. But alas, yeah, no. For She-Hulk, I'm pretty excited, and I'm not like this is gonna be the best MCU show ever. I'm just like excited to see actually what happens with it, and like
Yeah.
if that first episode is gonna be a real kicker for. I think just like I want to say like I was gonna compare it to Miss Marvel, but at the
First
same
episode,
time,
I'm
like
out.
that took. Well, no, like Miss Marvel, I'm like this is the best. This is the single greatest Disney
Yes.
Plus show I've ever seen in my entire life. Like it's fantastic, and then just the roller coaster that show took. I was gonna say like the first episode was gonna be a good testing point for that, but like the last MCU show kind of just fooled me in that regard. But I think the main thing is just She-Hulk herself. Like, I think that's going to be a really big just moment where I'm like, okay, I'm either going to really like this character right in this moment or not. And I could be wrong in that regard. It might be like a weird way of thinking of that. It's just like a first impression, but like honestly, a first impression of this character in the MCU is a big deal. So I'm just really excited to just get in there and see how the comedy hits for me. It's funny how like my excitement is just to like get to those feelings, but I don't know what those feelings are gonna be. So like it might be a detriment of me like excited for that moment. But no, I am very excited to jump into it at least, especially if they're a nice healthy time frame when we're reviewing them at midnight.
Yeah, Thomas.
Yeah, I would say I'm mid-high. I think this year for MCU shows has been middling at best. That sometimes it's been fantastic, but then usually averages out to just okay. But I have higher hopes for this one. I think the confirmation that we'll have a few of our MCU mainstay characters in there it'll just be fun to see them, even if for some of them it's just like a scene or two that'll still be cool. But for me, like the Daredevil thing is what really gets me hyped, and obviously that we know he's in there somewhat, and we'll talk about how much. But yeah, I think maybe where I'm tempering my expectations a bit is that I think where I know if I'm going to love the show, it's going to take a while, right? Because the episodes are very short, and there's 9 of them. That's how many we got?
9, yeah.
Yeah, so it's going to take 2 months of these 20-minute episodes. So I don't know. It's just going to be very slow moving. So I guess I'm not expecting that the first week or two are going to blow me away. But hopefully, when we're nearing the end and looking at the journey that we've been on, hopefully that'll be pretty exciting. Because it's just going to be very, very slow moving in that way. But yeah, I would say I'd say I'm getting pretty excited for this one. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm more excited than I thought. Like when they announced She-Hulk, I'm like, okay, that's cool. I like that we'll get some more of that universe with Bruce and everything like that. But I've loved everything from when they said, oh, it's going to be a 30-minute procedural, like kind of comedy lawyer show. I've liked all the trailers, yes, other than despite maybe some of the CGI and stuff like that. The actual content of what's in the trailers I've liked. I'm interested to get to know the character. I've really loved all the situations of her like trying to date and all these things. So yeah, I think it's going to be a slow burn in the sense of like knowing if you love the show, because I feel like episode 1 is just going to be almost purely set up with it being under half an hour, and that's all right. It's just going to be kind of different. It's going to be much more like WandaVision, where when we watched it live, it was, hey, the very first episode is pretty much all just a fake show, and it's like, okay, that's what this is, and we have to wait till a bit to get that meat and potatoes. I still liked those other episodes and things like that, but it was like, okay, to gauge the show, I have to wait till I get to the end, and this will kind of be similar, not exactly. I'm excited to see how they tackle her breaking the fourth wall, because obviously that's something new to the MCU, and she's doing it before Deadpool is. So there's a lot of things I'm interested about, and I'm happy because like the back end of the year we got this and Black Panther. So at least the 2 MCU projects that we have left, I'm pretty excited for overall. Black Panther being on a whole different level, but with this, I'm very curious to see where it's going to rank at the end and how that comedy is going to hit, because this one's specifically supposed to be a comedy. So I'm actually going to start with Clay's question, Patreon Clay's question. That's what you can do for every newscast. You can send in a question no matter what tier you are at. And he asks, do you think that the She-Hulk show will have any greater aspirations or crossovers than are being a half-hour comedy? I know Wong is in the trailer, but it's probably just introducing Abomination, and Daredevil is in there, but will showing him actually set up in your guys' opinion? Will they introduce a villain for him? To put it more simply, will She-Hulk have any larger MCU ramifications?
I'll start this one off. I'm just going to take the baton right out of your hands before you pass it to anyone. I really think that this one is and I think a big reason for that is the characters that are just included in it, whether it is just like Wong, like if he is just appearing to like deliver Abomination or whatever that might be, like I still think that fills in some cracks on his inclusion in like Shang-Chi, like that one moment, like it's like, okay, where he came from, like I think he will be crossing over from that event to the She-Hulk show at some point. But even like Daredevil, like that's a huge character like introduction in the MCU going forward. Like I don't know if he's going to be having like his own movies going forward or anything like that, but like it's still just such a big moment to have this character first appearance in the MCU being the show. Another really big one too for me.
Second appearance.
What? Wait, sorry. What's the first?
No Way Home.
Oh, right. You got me
Matt
there.
Murdock.
Good, well played.
Yeah.
Checkmate.
He's a really good lawyer.
He's a really good lawyer, and he catches bricks without even looking.
Yeah. Not on this show, though.
At
They
least
just-
one brick.
they
At
just
least
pelt
one.
him. Yeah. Once you throw
The
three,
extended-
it's kind of done.
What's it called? Like the super fun edition?
Yeah,
he
Super
catches
Fun
2.
Edition. Yeah.
That's all they add. Just another brick. And then the other really big character thing for me is actually Bruce Banner's Hulk, because
Yeah.
if you've seen Eternals, I think it's Eternals, or maybe the end credit scene for Shang-Chi.
Nope.
It's
Yeah,
when
Shang-Chi.
it's when he's in his human form, and I actually think that is going to happen in the show. I think he will, like, I don't know if he loses like the Hulk power or if he just like finds a way to kind of just like tone it down. I think that will happen in the show, and that's a pretty big moment, honestly, because like in Endgame, like I remember even on the review we were discussing the possibility of like, is this just the Hulk that we have permanently going forward, is just Smart Hulk, and then that was kind of like revealed at the end of Shang-Chi that no, like he actually goes back to Bruce Banner form somehow, and I think that will happen in this show. So I don't know if I'm not saying it's going to be like leading to like a big like a Kang, like, you know, like not that type of situation where like something revealed to like become a new threat, but just those character moments. I think that's big enough to actually like maybe put it on a higher pedestal than like something like Hawkeye, because like you get introduced to Kate Bishop, but at the end of the day, like they're not really like, you could skip that show. I think with the MCU stuff.
Kingpin.
What do you think?
They introduced Kingpin there. That was a big MC ramification, I feel. He's going to be an Echo and
Is it?
Hawkeye.
Is it a big like ramification though? It's just like
it doesn't
will
feel
if you don't
big
watch
because
it, you're gonna see him again, and then it's not gonna be like, who
True.
the fuck is this guy? They're gonna explain that it's Kingpin.
If he's blind, it'll be a big one. Remember, because he was shot in the face. So, like, if Kingpin's blind, be like, why is Kingpin
Oh,
blind?
I
Like, what
forgot
happened?
Was he shot in the
that scene, yeah.
face? I thought it was like off screen.
Rumored to be shot in the face. Yeah, it is off screen. but
checkmate
but
from Dylan there.
they're rumored to be adapting a storyline where he is blind or partially blind. So that's where everyone's assuming that. Okay,
It's like the
he was shot.
Cyclops, like total goggles. It's like this is the new Scott.
I can't see anything more, Matt, but I can tuck you down, and just he's like, just Kingpin. But yeah, just to pick up where you go, I was talking about some of our lines. I actually do need them to answer the Shang-Chi thing, because I remember so many people after Shang-Chi was like, "Why is he back in human form? What's going on? I don't understand." In Endgame, this is a continuity error, and I went, "No, MCU, they'll explain it. We'll get that." If they don't explain it here, then I just feel like a fucking idiot, and Feige's starting to miss a step, because I feel like they always do these things, right? Eventually, even Tony Sue, this is what my example was, maybe another director does, where Iron Man 3 happens, he blows up all his suits, but then of Age of Ultron, he's back. Later on in Civil War, they're like, oh yeah, him and Pepper broke up. That's why he's Iron Man again. So if it's not here, I hope at some point, but I think it is vital to, he had said, hey, I'd figure out the perfect form between Bruce and Hulk, and this is it. Why is he human again? Is it his choice? Is it not his choice? Whatever it may be, I think they need to answer that, or it's a small thing, but still for a it's a small thing, but the franchise has thrived on connecting those small things, right? And that's what's made it like above other ones, is they care about the little details, and that's my worry. If they stop caring about the little details, that's when they start to lose it. So there's other stuff with Bruce in the show I'm excited to see happen and see what route to go down. I do really want him to talk with Abomination, but the greater MCU, I think there'll just be a few setup things. I think Matt will. It might set up a little bit what he's doing, but I think he's more just there to appear. But I think this will be primarily more, I guess Kirklin is right, more like Hawkeye, where it is a bit more self-sustained. MCU is always setting something up, but I think at this state, for the most part, you could skip some things other than maybe with Bruce's story. But other than that, I think it's going to be a self-contained story about, falling in love with Jennifer Walters, hopefully.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, first of all, I want to say is I think this is a great question, the way it's worded, and considering everything that there is with this. I think it will definitely have greater MCU ramifications, but I don't know if it's going to be what we normally think of when we think of that, of how these different movies are tying into the Infinity Saga and how these characters are going to come along. I don't think it'll be that kind of thing, but with the knowledge of Echo and Daredevil on the way as confirmed shows, like, I think this show will be very important for that storyline, and we've talked a lot about this street level threat and what's going on there. If it is like some Defenders thing, even if it's not Defenders, but whatever it's called, where they're grouping up these street level characters, even if She-Hulk's not part of that, but like this show, I think will have a lot of information, or at least like leading towards that. Because I mean, if we look at She-Hulk as a character, and like, is she going to be in Avengers, the two Avengers movies in 25? I don't think you need really any setup for that because Bruce can just like pull her in, and that's that. Like you don't need any more setup for that. So I don't think they're going to spend much time like doing that kind of thing. Plus, it's also kind of far away to do that. So yeah, I don't think we're going to see that sort of grand level thing. I think really the setup we're going to get here is for other Disney Plus TV shows. I don't think you'll see anything that's like huge setup for any coming movies. Is the way I would kind of classify them, which is important. Those are greater MCU ramifications. We're in a different time now where there is going to be like kind of multiple tracks of storylines. I think obviously Kang. That is like your next big bad, but I think there's going to be a lot of other stuff that'll keep you busy in the meantime or even at the same time and after that sort of thing.
It's funny when you say, like, because Avengers is far away. It's a good thing, but still just weird now that we have an actual date for Avengers, you know?
It's
like,
fun to have much more information now to base these things off of.
We know, like, an aiming date of it. Like, this is kind of like we got 3 years, you know? Like, in that 3 years, this can happen, so that's fun. But what about you, Taylor Phil? Do you think this is going to have any big ramifications for the MCU going forward?
I mean, I sure hope it does. I think She-Hulk needs a good a batter up kind of spot there just to kind of like show her true quality. I think looking at the question specifically, aspirations and crossovers, I sure as heck hope that they have greater aspirations for this character. And she's not limited to just being a comedic character on a 9-episode series. I want to see more of this because we're getting Bruce Banner showing her the ropes and showing her as like, hey, this is the new generation, next generation Hulk, basically. So I want them to really explore that and not just give us the comedic beats. Now, in terms of crossovers, I would like to see her kind of eventually make it up onto that big movie screen, like you guys were talking about with Avengers. To me, every single character that we've seen so far and that we're going to be getting, I'm picturing them all being in Avengers. I can't imagine them just dropping one of them.
All. All, you said all of them?
I think most of the heroes, I think all of them would be in some form or shape or form represented in Avengers. I think it would be pretty brutal if they're like, oh, we're going to have like you guys, but no, we're not going to have you.
So you think Moon Knight's going to be on the Avengers?
Yeah, I was going to ask about Moon Knight too.
I feel like there's high chances.
Why do you think he's in Cairo?
In the Avengers movie, yeah.
Do you think Eternals are going to be on Avengers?
At this point, I have no reason not to. Specifically, I'm basing this off the idea that in Endgame, we had portals literally like everyone, like even the Ravagers. Like we were just.
I guess I'm thinking
town.
just the main team, like the new 8 or new 6. That's what I'm thinking.
think
That's what I thought when you said being on the Avengers.
That's fair. I think like in the Avengers movie, like I think the first Avengers movie, I could see them paralleling it. So first Avengers movie, we have the Loki, just maybe just that
Loki.
that 8. Yeah, Loki's back. There's that 8 character roster, whatever. Just not a huge crew. And then the next one that we get will have the whole kerfuffle of Marvel
Secret
characters.
Wars, right?
Yeah. So. But I mean, kind of following up with that, where we get like Wong kind of introducing Abomination and Daredevil being there, I didn't really think too much as to like what Daredevil is kind of like setting up, and I think that's a good part of the question as well. I was just kind of thinking like, well, Daredevil's like he's a lawyer. They're both kind of maybe retroactively working together. Like she's trying to crack a case, figure something out. Like, hey, I'm gonna send my boy DD out here and just see what he can find.
I hope that's what they call him.
DD, yeah. He's not
DD.
Well, he's also on a rooftop fighting at some point, so he'll do more than lawyering at the very least.
He just does the flip. You like actually don't see him kick ass.
Right.
It's just like you want to see something crazy.
That's
And then it's like that's like the
barbershop
last.
clip.
That's like the end credit scene too.
Wow, that
See
was
something
wild.
cool.
Daredevil this fall, but
Oh god.
let's take our first ad break because we'll get into some more predictions. And also, we were talking about Eternals. I want to ask Dylan his thoughts on Eternals because he has recently seen it. So we'll be right back. And we're back. So yes, Dylan, we a few mentions of Eternals. What did you think? That was the last MCU thing you had to cross off your list as far as things you hadn't seen. What did you think of Eternals?
Yeah, I'm excited to talk about this. I have my notes here, so I'll try and rifle them off. Spoilers if you haven't seen Eternals yet.
course,
I'm gonna
yeah.
rifle off some
Oh,
stuff here.
let me pull my headphones off.
I gotta ask quickly, Taylor, what do you think of Eternals? Just like in a sentence, because you were not on the review, which I did listen to, and it was just Kirk and Travis. But I guess I haven't really heard your thoughts on the movie.
I appreciate the inquiry.
Oh, that is. You sound like a politician already. That's a fabulous question, Dylan. And you know what's the best part about questions? They get answers, and you're not getting one from me. It's like a
2024,
classic
you're gonna get the
I'm gonna,
answers.
I'm gonna get you some results here.
Taylor's election campaign is like Obama poster, and it's get answers. Like that's what it is.
Like I only watched it specifically for the connection to the greater MCU story. It's one of those things like I still haven't seen Morbius, and I
That's
just
on the
like
MCU.
yeah, it's
Not
just it would have easily gone that route where there's no urgency behind it, but MCU kind of just roping me in, so I felt like, okay, I need to understand the story. I need to kind of see what's going on. So when I got into it, like I just found that it was boring and slow at times, and like visually, it was great. Like it's just outstanding. You got some, you got a sun setting over here, you got a beach over here. Like couldn't argue with that. So
Can't argue with the beach. That's true.
Can't argue that. No.
That's why he loves Rogue One. It ends on a beach with Andor
yeah, it's
and whatever.
good beach,
kissing
good
and-
sunset scene. But overall, I just found the characters were just kind of lacking a little bit. There was a few, I don't even remember their names for crying out loud, but there was a few that I really liked and a couple of humorous moments. But some stuff just wasn't jiving with me. I wanted to see Kit Harington's character. Let's go! I'm ready for the Black Knight. Celestials were cool.
All right.
But yeah, lead us in.
Okay, well, so going into this, very, very low expectations, which is why it was the last MCU thing that I caught up on when I was getting ready for everything again this year. And I got to say, I really liked it. I am on the opposite end of it, and I'm very happy to say that because I was not expecting, to enjoy this one. My one caveat is that I don't know how I feel about the post-credit scenes. So I don't know. We'll leave those aside and just talk about the movie proper. But I mean, first of all, my expectations for just MCU CGI is at an all-time low right now. We're on a hot streak now where like Thor, even some stuff in Doctor Strange, Miss Marvel, Moon Knight, like just a lot of shit CGI all over the board. And I thought Eternals looked fantastic from start to finish. Like the CGI monster enemies, I thought looked amazing. Things with like anything with the Celestials looked great. All the powers, like I think all that stuff looked good. What's that, Travis?
When you say start to finish, does that include the post credits as well?
That's what I said. My one caveat, where the troll. I mean, I don't know. It's fine, I guess, for what it is in that 1 minute. And I'll see. I'm curious what that will look like in the sequel or something. But yeah, like the movie proper before it rolled credits, I think looks fantastic. Like the whole way through, and the action scenes, the fight scenes were fantastic. I was totally in it with all their powers and stuff like that. And I to me, like obviously it's a lot of characters are introduced in there. And how are you going to get as much time with each one? But I thought they did an amazing job of giving these mini arcs for a lot of characters. Like Athena's storyline of her kind of being they're all kind of broken in different ways, right? And she's kind of glitched in that she's seen their past lives and whatnot. I thought that was fantastic. I thought that was really, really well done for like how much screen time that character gets. I really liked Sprite's storyline. I think that's fun that it kind of has like a beginning, middle, and end to it. I like Cersei a lot as like your main person, who I didn't even know she was like in this movie just because I hadn't ever seen a trailer, I don't think, either. So I really liked her stepping up as the leader. I thought that was all great. And Fastos, I really liked his story as well, of like just the guilt he carries from making these creations that have created such destruction. So those ones to me really stood out as like just these really powerful arcs that are kind of in there. But then other characters like Kingo and his buddy I thought were hilarious, like pretty much the whole way through. Druig is like, I think he's maybe one who doesn't really get much of a storyline, but I still think he's all right. And then Makari as well. She gets like no story really, but I thought she was awesome in terms of just her look. And like all the fight scenes where she's fucking up Icarus at the end, I thought was fantastic. When she runs around the whole planet real quick to get some info, like I love that kind of thing. Another thing, MCU is so flaccid. There's like no love or sex or anything. So I loved how just like horny this movie was. Like all these Eternals are just wanting to fuck each other, and there's like all these love triangles. Like I just love that there was all these different relationships that were at different levels, which I thought was very exciting. I thought the Icarus twist was like, that was super great. Like that caught me by surprise. It was a fun turn, and the fact that he's like the most powerful sets up like a good villain at the end. You guys, talked about this on the review, that another world-ending thing, you don't like that. And, that's fine. I kind of agree with that. But I like that by the end of the story, they've killed off, like, the more powerful ones, or at least Icarus. And, like, obviously Cersei's, what she does at the end is, like, an incredibly strong thing. But it's not just, like, a power she has. Like, that's when all of them were combined, plus Icarus, who is no longer there. So she is doing this really OP thing. But, like, she cannot do that again. Or at least she'll have to, like, power up or figure out some other way to do things like that. So I think at least setting up for future MCU things, I don't think it's like, okay, the Eternals are just super OP now. That's like breaks all this immersion for, well, why didn't they just come save the day here or there? So I think that works. I really like the storytelling of just the kind of bouncing between modern day and then like starting with like the start of man, and they would constantly like move up a few hundred years, a few thousand years, whatever it is, until you're like 6 days earlier, and then you get the twist, and then you're back up to modern day, and it finishes off there. I thought that was just like really well done, the way that was paced and stuff. Like, it is a long movie, but I was in it from start to finish, and that's like a testament because it is quite long. The music choices I thought were really good. They had Time in there, End of the World, which I thought were very fitting thematically, and also just songs I personally love. And what else? I'm gonna say it now. We had this cast a couple weeks ago. Who do we want for Avengers? Secret Wars. I want Chloe Zhao. I want her in there. I think that the fact that you had, I know it would be a controversial choice. Most people would not want this, I guess, because of the quality of Eternals. I'm definitely an outlier here. But for me, it's like, wow, you took so many characters and to me made them interesting in a short amount of time, and they're all introductions. What could you do with characters who we already know the backstory of, and we already know their setup and their characters, and then you're just kind of teaming them up and sending them off against this villain? And, Eternals has like a bunch of different villains in it, with the Celestials, with the Deviants, with Icarus at one point too, and it was all balanced really well. So I just think that would be a great pairing for Secret Wars. So I'd really like to see it. And yeah, I really liked it. I think when we get to our ranking at the end of the year, it'll be up there for me. I don't know if it's like I'm not gonna say it's a top 10 by any means, but I think for most of you guys, it's probably gonna be in that like bottom 5 at least, if not at the very bottom. But for me, it's gonna be up there. I really liked it, and I'm glad that I could say that, because catching up on a lot of MCU things, I was hoping like, okay, I'm watching Black Widow, people were not too hyped on it, and then I watch, I'm like, yeah, okay, I get it. So I'm glad that I could like have a different opinion from what seems like the just consensus on Eternals. So yeah, I'm the Eternals stan of the podcast now. So hit me up if you have any Eternals questions or hopes and wishes. I will be there for the Eternals fans. I don't know how many of them are out there, but I'm one of them. So
some of the Discord people will be happy because some of them have it ranked pretty high and whatnot.
I think April liked it quite a bit.
Yeah,
didn't she?
Shout out to April.
Yeah, I can't trust April though. She on Trust told me that both Venoms were masterpieces.
That is a bold
Yeah,
claim.
she
That's
also
bold.
really liked that
April,
too.
I
I'm
don't
not
know. You
gonna
better
say
come on
that.
after 9 to defend it, but no.
Yeah.
That's a good thing about film. It's all subjective, right? So
This is your movie. This is your king.
yeah.
Venom
So this is something that I brought. We kind of talk about these all the time, but anyways, Summer Hansi asked me on Travis, told me I wanted to bring this over here. What do you guys think the debut numbers will be? And obviously, actually, I should have pulled them up, but just as far as we talk about the Moon Knight, where do you guys think this is going to track? So the lowest show is Hawkeye. I think it goes, and I'll find them. Oh, you guys are talking, but then like Falcon Winter Soldier is somewhere in the middle. WandaVision is just below that, and Loki is far away with like a 2.5 million. So it's just a debut. Where do you guys think this is gonna fit in the MCU Disney Plus shows as far as popularity on its first go around?
I'll quickly say this because I pulled the numbers up. Hawkeye 1.5, Falcon and the Winter Soldier and Moon Knight 1.8, and WandaVision 1.6, and Loki 2.5. I don't have Miss Marvel here though, so we should probably get that one.
That's actually the new lowest. It didn't even crack 1 million.
Right.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So I guess forgot about Miss Marvel's like at like 900, 800,000. So it was not the greatest. So I'll start the bidding at I think it will be Miss Marvel.
Really?
That's what I'll
Beat
say.
Miss Marvel? Is that what you said?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think you
I
have.
thought you said it'll be Miss Marvel.
I thought
Exact
you
same
said
number.
you-
Like, that's
okay,
my
yeah.
prediction.
Like, holy
Yeah.
shit, that's
I was surprised too because then if I misspoke, you guys we were so shocked. I'm like, really? You guys think it's gonna be lower than Miss Marvel? That can't be. But no, I think it will. I think it's gonna be right under Moon Knight and Falcon Winter Soldier. I think it will beat Hawkeye. I think because having the other Hulk in there helps as well. It's a bigger Avengers character, but I think that's the barometer. So that's what I'm saying. Third bottom.
Yeah, I think this. It's not a safe bet, but in my heart, it's a safe bet. I'm gonna say it breaks 1 million.
Yeah.
For where it lies, I don't think it'll make it to Hawkeye. I think if I had to give it a number, maybe 1.2, 1.3 mil. I don't know. It's just a nice number in my mind, and I feel like there's just enough questions for people to just be intrigued by like how this is gonna turn out. Let alone all the Daredevil stuff. I actually didn't even really think
True,
about the Daredevil stuff
helps.
until like after I gave my number. So I'm still gonna. I don't know. Okay, now I change it. I'm gonna put it above Hawkeye. Actually, I'm gonna go 1.6. Yeah, for the Daredevil effect, and I was at 1.2, 1.3. So that just goes to show how much I think hype there is for Daredevil. I think also just like the fact that they've already announced like what's that show that's coming out? 18 episodes. What's it called? Born Again.
Born Again.
Yeah, so like just that being announced already, people are just like, oh, this is the pilot episode of Daredevil, almost like this series. So I think they're gonna have a lot of hype for that. So yeah, I'm gonna put it there. Oh, I guess that's tying WandaVision. Yeah, okay, I'm happy with that. I'll do that.
I'll go a bit higher. I think it'll be on par with Moon Knight and Falcon and Winter Soldier there. I don't think it's cracking 2 mil, but I
No.
think it'll be in that ballpark. I think She-Hulk's a big enough character. I think maybe the actress, isn't. I have no idea. I didn't know who she was before She-Hulk, so I don't know if people would share that sentiment. But the fact that you have Hulk in there, in the trailers and stuff, you have Daredevil in there, Wong. I think some of these things get people hyped. I think the timing's really good of following something like Thor, and like Comic-Con was a couple weeks ago, so maybe there's some hype there. People have seen the Black Panther trailer, want to get into the MCU thing right now.
True.
And then, one thing too, which did not help Miss Marvel evidently, but Disney Plus is always growing, and I think I just saw today that it's like the biggest, or I guess the Disney family of streaming services.
Yeah,
now
the bundle.
has
Plus isn't
surpassed
bigger, but
Netflix.
yeah. The bundle of Hulu, ESPN, and yeah.
So yeah, I mean, just more and more people are on Disney Plus all the time now. So I don't know. I think that helps as well. So yeah, I'll stick around that 1.8 number. If you're asking me to pick a side, I'm gonna go on the daring side. I'm gonna go over. So I'll say like higher than Moon Knight and Winter Soldier, but less than 2 mil. So around 1.9 ish.
As Bub says,
Very
Daredevil's
confident.
bringing in that, the trailer's bringing that some juice, and then McDufferson chat says, I think it's a possibility second. Won't come near Loki, but I think is more hyped than
There
the
you go.
others.
I'm on
Wow,
your-
okay, so.
I'm on your page then.
Yeah, some people are thinking that. Tay, where are you in the scheme of things?
I got the nice little graph here. I'm just taking a wee gander at it. Beat Miss Marvel. Yeah, it's beating that. Hawkeye.
If it didn't, there would be some conversations happening at Disney, I think. If two MCU shows in a back-to-back its debut didn't crack 1 million, I think that would cause some stir.
You'd be like, we need to
Oh.
bring in a Zaslav type to help.
Yeah,
the
we gotta
MCU.
fucking cancel the rest of She-Hulk.
I think that it's going to beat Hawkeye. I think this is where the kicker is, because you have a difference of where, Miss Marvel had some familiar kind of components added into it from the larger MCU, but I think where you have the familiarity and the reoccurring characters kind of populating in She-Hulk and everything, I think that's what's really going to set it apart. Whereas you notice, okay, with Hawkeye, yes, we have Clint Barton reprising or returning. WandaVision obviously is 1.6, so it was like the first kicker there. But I think it's going to do better than that. I think Moon Knight had a lot of intrigue, and people were just trying to figure like, hey, what the hell's going on? Like, and they just saw it all the way through, and it had that popularity because Oscar Isaacs and Moon Knight is a new hero. People are super tuned to it. Falcon and the Winter Soldier is it's a great show with fantastic characters that are coming back. Like, hey, we're going to see the fallout of Captain America. So it has that excitement there. But I think, I'm kind of with you, Dylan. It's going to be on par with that 1.8, or I'm kind of inkling. I have an inkling that it's going to kind of go up to maybe like the 1.9. It's not going to pass the 2 million, but it's going to be up to that 1.9-ish area. And I think that's, again, attributed to, hey, there are Abomination fans out there. There's the Incredible Hulk fans. People like that movie, and I think people want to see what's the fallout there. Like you guys said, we got Wong, and Daredevil's a big kicker for that. And even then, the sizzle reel of just these other heroes that we're going to be, or not heroes, but characters with powers that are going to be introduced in here that we haven't seen yet. I think that's going to be generating a lot of excitement. And at the end of the day, you got Bruce Banner coming back in. That's just going to be kind of doing some stuff. So
Bruce.
the comedic approach, all these other MCU components, I think it's just going to be familiar. It's going to be new, and people are really, really going to be jiving with it.
People love lawyer TV shows. It's like a big,
true.
it's a big popular genre. Do you guys? So these numbers that we're looking at, these are like the first day, or is it the first like weekend?
It's like
or
within
something?
the first 5 days or something that they
Okay.
take. Yeah, so it's like
I was gonna
kind of a
ask if
week,
like
yeah.
the day of the week you guys think makes any difference, but I guess if it's multiple days anyway, it doesn't really affect that anyway. So.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Let's see. How many episodes will or when does Daredevil appear, and how many episodes? I'll go first because I just said this on our lines. I think it's going to be after 4 episodes, and I think it's going to be 4 episodes. But I think one episode's going to end with like the last minute is going to be you see him, and then maybe he's in 2 and an end credit. So that's why I'm very specific. So he's in 4, but the screen time might be limited. So I'm saying he's appears 4 after, and then he's in 4.
I think that's fair. I guess for me, I'm trying to think about okay, who's your main villain here, and like what like She-Hulk's gonna take him down, and I think they'd want her to be able to do that on her own,
Yes.
without other characters there. So I don't think Daredevil was like there for the final, because you'd have to think like
It's
whatever.
just his show when it
Yeah.
ends. Like he beats them all. Yeah.
Yeah, he just solos.
He
them with
beats
his big
She-Hulk.
spin.
Yeah, she goes to fight, and he just like demolishes
Mhm.
and just like it's my city.
You know, we always talk about like these finales. There's a lot going on, and so maybe the finale event will be stretched to like 3 episodes. But I don't. What I'm getting at is I don't think Daredevil will be involved in that part of the story, and I also don't think. Okay, here the thing that's confusing for me is like, is Matt Murdock in this show much as a lawyer in that world, or is it just Daredevil? Because that's where it would throw me off, right? Because if he's like in a couple episodes just before she knows about him as Daredevil, but then he also pops up as Daredevil, like that obviously inflates your numbers. I'm pretty confident. I'm gonna say that the post credit he's there as well, so that adds an episode. So I guess I'll say I'm just gonna copy Travis. I'm gonna say 3 episodes. That's including the post credit. I hope it's more, but I'm gonna temper my expectations here and say Matt Murdock's not here. It's just Daredevil, so I'll say 3.
Yeah, I feel like shoot, what was I gonna say? Oh, I feel like you're gonna see Matt and Daredevil. I think
Yeah.
that's what's the 2 for
Okay.
there. You may whether
If
it's
that's the case, I would say maybe 4 episodes, maybe even 5. Who knows?
Yeah,
How many episodes are dropping first night? Is it just one?
just one, just the one.
Ooh, that's bizarre.
Is it?
Haven't they done that for all the MCU shows?
It's
Or-
like not as late. I feel like I'm just so used to like the double episode dropping, and then like just knowing that Andor's dropping 3. I would have just like assumed that
rookie
they're
move.
doing 2. It is a rookie move. I think I'm gonna be crazy and just say first episode. They're gonna have Matt
Wow.
Murdock.
Love it.
Yeah, I
Oh, bold.
I feel like why hide him? Like we know he's in the show. They're in the first trailer, and I do generally believe that he will be like both versions of himself. I feel like it would be weird to have an attorney at law and like just not have like the lawyer version of Daredevil in the show at all. I feel like that's just a missed opportunity. And like it might be. No, yeah, there won't be an end credit scene for the first episode. I don't think. I think it would just be like maybe at the end, and then like episode 2, something to be really, really jazzed for. But yeah, no, I'm gonna lean on that camp that it's honestly gonna be really, really early on in the show. I think he might be like sprinkled throughout the show, like he might appear in a few episodes, like pretty majority of the episodes, but not like a lot. Like it might just be. I don't even know. Like, I don't know if he was a point of reference to like help our hero, or if he's just kind of doing his own things, and you're hearing about like something described like Daredevil. I could really picture those usages. So yeah, I think he's gonna be in it really early in the series, and I think he's gonna be in it. I don't want to say like quite a bit, but like a decent amount, like over 50% of the show. So.
Wow, over 50. Jeez,
Just flipping around the background, like S-Pub
love it.
says. It's like
Every
you need to
episode.
really turn on your like brightness to see him, because he's just like pitch black silhouette.
Just like the Watcher.
Just like the Watcher. Just like Taylor's multiple Watcher.
Oh,
pictures
I'll have to
in his
put
head.
I'll have to put the Watcher in those She-Hulk.
Matt's
photos,
called a
yeah.
hearer. That's why he's the hearer.
I think that he's probably going to be more prominent in the back half of the show. I'm kind of with you guys, Travis and Dylan there. I think it would probably be episode 5 and on. I just feel that way again because the moment you bring him in, I think it would be unfortunate because a lot of people would I feel like would immediately just put She-Hulk off to the side and be like, oh, there's Daredevil. Why don't we just have Born Again already? Just screw She-Hulk show.
They
Like,
just go the Boba Fett route. It's like if the show's not doing really good, they're like, okay, we're just going to take these episodes out, replace them with the first 2 Daredevil episodes.
There's a
yeah,
preview-
exactly.
There's a preview of Taylor's drafts folder on Twitter right there.
So I just that's always my go-to kind of justification where it's like the Force Awakens thing where you have Luke Skywalker, but you don't just dump him in throughout the whole movie. You save him to like the very back end of the movie, and I feel like it's the same with Daredevil. Daredevil is like a huge character for so many of the MCU fans right now. Like people love that Netflix show. Me and Kirklin will watch it someday, and it's
Retro,
just now
it'll come. I'm speaking
It'll
to Taylor
come.
right here. We'll
Yeah.
do a retro for it.
you just have this character that is not only the character
Before next Thursday.
I
That's
never committed
bold.
to that before Born Again, maybe.
All 39 episodes in 1 week. Go.
But you have this character who is coming back into the fold on screen, but actually making an appearance into the MCU now. And not only just that character, but the same actor reprising this character. I think that's huge. So to just drop him in from episode 1, I think that is bold. And I just worry that, okay, then that just pulls everyone's attention away from focusing in on She-Hulk. Now, that being said, you could have him just playing Matt Murdock himself, just as the lawyer, and that's probably not enough to actually pull a lot of the excitement away from She-Hulk. It's like, oh, cool, okay, we've got Matt Murdock and we have She-Hulk here, but I don't know her actual name. It goes over my head.
Jennifer
here.
Walters.
Jennifer Walters. You have Jennifer Walters and Matt Murdock kind of teaming up in court. That'd be kind of cool to see, but I think we need to get that introduction where she is becoming She-Hulk. She's working with Bruce Banner. You can't have that shadowed too much because, I mean, with Bruce Banner,
Well,
such
they're
an
out on a
important
beach too.
character.
They're not in New York at that.
I
point,
love
right?
those Marvel beaches. Yeah, so
You do.
Do you?
yeah,
Eternals, Odin. Yeah.
Can't
Look at
debate
this.
them.
Look at this place. So Mike says the Netflix show had very little courtroom scenes. I would love to see him in that setting. Yeah, I'd like to because always Foggy had to go do it. And Matt's like, oh, I'm busy.
Right.
Take over. So hopefully we do. I will start with you on the other side of that spectrum. How many episodes do we see Bruce? Bruce or Hulk?
I think we're gonna see 3.
Only
think-
3?
I think 3.
Wow.
Yeah, and I say that because I think that's when she'll be starting to like dive into her career, or I could be completely wrong, and it's just like jumping back and forth between like him training her throughout the scenes and then her jumping into like, oh, okay, like here I'm doing this, my lawyer stuff, and then yeah, just kind of like going through. But I say 3 initially because I think we're gonna get her going through some stuff, and she's going to reach out, and he'll kind of make his appearance at the end of the first episode. Then he'll be in the second episode to kind of like train her, kind of like getting the like activate it. And then the third episode, maybe they're going off to the beaches and stuff like that. And then she gets the call and she goes off to do her lawyer stuff.
She sees the She-Hulk signal. She's like, I gotta go.
Exactly. Yeah. I'll say 4. I'll say 4 actually. That seems a little bit more confident.
Wow, 4.
I'm gonna go low on that one. I'm gonna say 2 episodes.
Oh my God, what is going on here? What's happening?
I'm not confident that you're gonna get non-Hulk Bruce. Or we haven't seen that in a trailer, right? That's just like
We've seen it once. Yeah.
Wait, with him as Bruce.
Non-Hulk
Yeah.
Bruce?
Yes, not Hulk Bruce. We've seen it once. Yes.
Where was he? What was the setting of that?
They were driving in a car.
In New York or on a beach.
Unknown. It was a
It was
road.
dark.
Yeah.
Oh, that maybe changes things. Okay, I'll go up to 4 now. I'm going 5 actually. Going up way up to
Oh,
Price is Right
I like it,
rules.
yeah.
5. Yeah, I'm up to 5.
Give me 5, Bob.
I was thinking like, okay, if it's just Hulk, which maybe it is, like that's expensive. How much do they want to CGI Hulk? Because you can't make that look like shit. You got to make that look good. Because we've seen that enough. So, okay, I'm at 5. I don't think him and Daredevil we're gonna have. I don't think they're gonna interact once. Maybe as Bruce
No.
and Matt, but not as their superhero forms. So there you go.
That's great though. You just put that idea in my head. I can't wait for Daredevil and Hulk to interact. Play some good times and stuff like
I'm
that.
down
So.
for that. That'd be fun.
I'm minimum 6. Minimum 6. That's where I think it is. I think because there'll be times where maybe she just calls him and he's on the other end of a phone talking to her. Like I think there'll be a lot of little scenes that he's in. But yeah, minimum of a 6. I could also see it being in every episode.
Here's a very specific prediction.
'Kay.
I think Matt Murdock will have taken on a case in New York that is part of something that Hulk destroyed. Like he destroyed someone's office
Ooh.
or he hurt someone, and Matt Murdock took on a
Ooh.
case that was to deal with that, and that could be a joke that they have at some point. So that's my very specific prediction. There you
I
go.
like it.
I like it a lot too. So with Bruce, I'm very much in Travis's camp. I was gonna say 6-7 episodes. I could see him in every single one, but at the same time, I feel like there'll be at least one episode that's just kind of her dealing with her own kind of. I don't know. It's a big deal that she's gonna be going like this change that she's gonna be going through. I feel like that is gonna be a big thing throughout the entire show. And I think there'll be at least one or two episodes of her kind of just like really focusing on that. But even then, like I feel like it would just be one episode if we only have 9. I think definitely majority of the show we're going to be seeing Bruce. And again, it's tying to my other prediction how like I thought Daredevil was going to be quite a bit because they just like released him in the trailer and it was a short snippet, but Bruce is like showcased like since like really early on. So I really think he is going to be a big part of the show. And I don't know. I don't even know if this is like tying into another prediction or something, but like I also feel like, Mark Ruffalo's been in the MCU for a while. Like I don't think he's gonna be in it forever. And like maybe this is like getting people ready to just like transition the Hulk to be a different person,
Put him to
and
bed.
it will. It's
Sounds like
She-Hulk
it's
now. Like I don't know. I don't think that's out of the realm of possibility by any means. So I think it is going to be a lot. And again, just getting people used to seeing She-Hulk. And why not have like an OG Avenger?
That'd
like,
be a
to
big
do that.
emotional beat. I can't imagine Hulk dying in a TV show.
No way.
No, I don't think he's dying, but like
I
that's
thought
what
that's what
she
you were
said.
talking about.
he's
That's what
close
she
to
said.
his retirement. Yeah. Well, like he
Getting us
might die
ready
in
for
the
the
future, but like
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, is there going to be explained him
That would be
losing
huge, though.
his
Imagine that goes around
losing
the
his
internet.
powers or something? Like
Hulk dies in this show. Like everyone's like, shit, I got to tune in for that. I got to find out what happened.
3 million. Yeah, it's just like does super big numbers first 2 episodes.
Because the good thing is too, like you could kill him in the multiverse. You can just bring him back in a couple of years, So it's pretty easy, and you get that Savage Hulk again, not Professor Hulk. But
There you go.
that's a good transition because the next question I had was any deaths. So you're not saying Hulk for sure. 'Cause you're just,
no.
getting us ready for that. But do you think there's anyone?
Even then, I think I'm sticking with this Hulk thing. This is just Hulk predictions now.
Yep.
I could see honestly them just like not actually killing off the Hulk. Like somehow he just gets cleansed of this radioactive powers and he can just live
He's just Mark
happily
Ruffalo.
ever after. Because that doesn't happen a lot in the MCU. Like Steve got to do that, but like we didn't really get to see it. We just saw the end result of him super happy. I think that would be really that'd be really suiting. That doesn't make sense. That'd be really fitting for a character like Hulk, who's just like he is a terrible hand to draw on. Like he can't really ever like he's just totally stuck on that. And he does talk about it in previous MCU films, but still, this is She-Hulk predictions. So any deaths? Like
major
Robber
characters. I'm
number
sure some
1.
civilian-
Yeah,
exactly. I'm sure some civilian might bite it, but
I was on the IMDb. I saw one character, and his name was just Robber number 1, appearing in one episode. It's just like,
Goner.
oh, I love how he just has a feature on the IMDb. But yeah, for the main crew, I don't think so. Maybe Abomination, like whatever that guy's name actually is.
Emil Blonsky.
Blonsky, yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
So, because I don't know,
Damn.
like, am I expecting to see Tim Roth moving forward in the MCU? I would love
I
it, but
am.
I don't think
New
that.
leader
yeah?
of the Avengers.
You think so?
Thunderbolts,
Thunderbolts.
Oh,
yeah,
okay,
yeah,
okay,
I
yeah,
think
good
so.
draw there. Yeah, okay, never mind.
What about S-Bobs? Daredevil dies and he's literally born again. First episode, She-Hulk just fucking BAM! Like doesn't
Phase
know who
5
he
is just getting weird. Yeah,
Yeah, she
The
just
resurrection.
decapitates him on
Robert
sight.
Downey just like
Is
comes
Daredevil.
down from the heavens or something.
That scene
yeah.
when he jumps onto the roof, he actually just falls off and like tumbles
yeah.
to his death.
The floor like breaks beneath him. He's like, "What the fuck is this?" He's like, "Oh, Spider-Man messed this bridge up a couple movies ago." Boom.
They don't have tombs to come and fix things anymore, right? They put him out of business. That was kind of
that's
his
true.
job, right?
Yeah, he's
Damage
in
control.
Morbius world.
Or he
now,
wasn't damage
so
control.
He got his job got taken from damage control. So.
Oh yes, there
But
you go.
even if he wanted, remember he couldn't fix it. He's recruiting some friends over in the Sonyverse. Poor Michael Keaton. He's in the Sonyverse. He just got a movie canceled on him. What fucking shit year this
Nah,
is?
he's getting paid for all this stuff.
Yeah,
I
he's probably in the
know.
Galapagos Islands right now, not really caring about it.
Training with Hulk and She-Hulk.
Yeah. And the
He's
Eternals,
doing like
yeah.
that balance pose that Hulk was doing in the trailer.
Just on his pinkies though. He's like, I'm
Hey,
fucking
Bruce,
Michael
what are you
Keaton.
doing?
Yeah, I'm Bruce too.
No
Dylan,
no meaningful deaths from me.
Yep.
For me, I don't think anything substantial is happening.
I agree. I don't think this is that type of show for that. I think it's going to be, there'll be some serious stuff, but I don't think anyone's biting it.
I don't know how you kill off anyone in a comedy show. It seems a little bold. So I'm going to say no.
There you go. Hopefully Frogman makes it. Any unannounced cameos? Dylan, I'll start with you. Anyone from the MCU or maybe even, like a Jessica Jones, like Daredevil, characters that we haven't seen before.
God, don't put that in my head now. I just want to see that.
Yeah, so what do you think for unannounced cameos?
Yeah, I guess Kingpin is kind of been talked about, rumored, or maybe people just think that'll happen. I could see that happening. I could see him popping up. It could be even just something like on a TV screen. She's like watching TV, like her and Hulk are chilling in the apartment, and it's like Wilson Fisk gets out of prison or whatever the fuck. I mean, he's not in prison, but anyway, something like that.
Shot in the face.
Yeah,
he gets to the hospital.
But then this is kind of doubling up with my end credit thing. I'm gonna go for a prediction here and say in the end credits we're gonna see Yelena or Kate Bishop. One of the two, and I don't really know what's going on.
What are you doing, Taylor? That doesn't look good for this.
Stuffing
He's
some
like,
soup in your mouth.
he's talking to the ring or something right now. Very Gollum-like. Mutes his mic.
Explain yourself.
S-Pubs, cut that out. If you got a tongue, cut that out. That looks suspicious.
Yeah.
I was totally zoned out on that. That's my prediction. One of those two characters. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I just think one of them is going to pop up. There you go. End credit scene. That's kind of doubling as my part of my next question too.
Ooh, McDuffers in chat says maybe the scientist from Incredible Hulk that got the Hulk's blood in him, the leader.
That's a pull.
I would love it because that's something that talk about things that were just dropped. They never picked up the leader. He just got that ooze, and then we've never seen him. So like, what's happening with him? So I would love if we got the leader. Absolutely. I don't know if we
that's
get
a
it in
different
the show,
character
but-
from Stan Lee's cameo, right? That got like the
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he
Different
helps
goo.
him in his cut, and then he's like, "Oh yes, I'm feeling it." I agree, with Dylan, that I think end credit is the place because unfortunately, with the MCU, I think most cameos and stuff like that are starting to leak. They just don't have good Bruce Banner suit for
camera
killing
angle.
Stanley with a soda. He goes
Don't
to
look at
prison.
me.
That's how it ends, just like Hulk taked away and everything. Louis Barry, hope to get Keanu Reeves as Donnie Blaze / Ghost Rider. I don't
Wow.
think that's happening
Holy
with Donnie
shit,
Blaze.
that's
There is a
pretty
Donnie
sick.
Blaze photo in one of the images, but I think that is either relative or just a fun Easter egg. But yeah, my cameos, I think it's going to be Val. I think it's going to be Julia Louis-Dreyfus, and she could be recruiting Abomination as another person a part of this. Like, oh, we fixed the Avengers. It's the Thunderbolts, but really it goes to shit too. So that's my unannounced cameo. I think that fits.
That's
And I
smart.
think we will see him more. Superbad Mike says, would love to see a Kate cameo. Yelena could pop there, recruit Abomination Thunderbolts. Because, yeah, that is a rumor too that Yelena is also in the Thunderbolts. So Yelena also a good pick. But, yeah, I think someone in that realm. Obviously, too with Wong, you never know what doors that can open up. I'm not saying Strange, but just in that realm of characters, you don't know who could. So it's I think there could be something, but I think that's end credits. I don't think it's the show.
Yeah, I was gonna pick Kate as well, so good pick there, Dylan. I like the Val pick as well. I think like those types of characters. So, oh my gosh, what's Riot Russell's character's name?
John Walker.
John
You
Walker.
Captain America.
That's my heart pick. I want him to appear, and I think it could actually fit because I think it would be fun if like we're in the lawyer sphere. Someone was like trying to really like someone was trying to like actually put him away for
That
like
was
just
my uncle
fucking
he
murder,
decapitated.
like murdering that
Self-defense.
person on like public TV,
Yeah.
and then it just completely like just gets like swept away. I think that could be a good opportunity for like a corruption thing, like also just like a lawyer like totally like just pushing back on that sphere, and I think that would be really fun because you don't necessarily have to have that character in there, but they're still just talking about that event, and I think that's just really healthy overall in the MCU because then it makes the world just. Oh right, like these are all in the same. I know we're like 30 plus films in. Like I think we don't really have those thoughts anymore. It's like okay, yeah, it is all in the same world with multiverses and stuff, but still. S-Bubs is getting Travis tonight.
Is She-Hulk defending him? in
John
this
Walker
case?
pleads the fifth. Yeah, that'd be very timely. You just have John Walker plead the fifth. Plead the fifth.
Yeah, but I think that could be really fun. And again, it makes, like, if someone skipped Captain America, oh my gosh, Falcon the Winter Soldier, it gives them incentive to be like, okay, I need to find out more about this. So I think that it also just helps MCU of getting people to watch their other things if they happen to skip it. That was one of the better shows, like, amongst them all. So I don't like, it's not a Miss Marvel thing, but yeah, I really like all of those. Like the Thunderbolts picks that you guys pitched, and I think Kate was just really fitting, especially like she was just really well received, and then like just to like keep her in the MCU sphere, because it is going to be a little bit like of time until we see her again in another project, I would imagine. I think it could be really fitting if we just have a little cameo with her, and I don't think that would have to be in the end credit scene at all. I think it could be like honestly like a really quick moment, and I would like it. I really like Haley Steinfeld as Kate Bishop, so
I think they just want to do that joke at least a couple times where, you know, She-Hulk in the place of Hulk, Leanne in the place of Black Widow, Hawkeye, Kate Bishop, like all of the original Avengers, and who their like descendant is now, because we kind of have one for each of them. I think they got to do some jokes with that at some point, whether that is in Avengers, and you know, the fourth wall thing would be a great way for She-Hulk to like comment on something like that.
Right.
So even if it's just like one of those joke end credit scenes where it's one of them and I don't know, some joke alluding to that connection between those characters, I think would be fun.
I think an interesting, like, just to kind of piggyback off that, an interesting crossover would be where Kate's mom has to go to court, and then sure enough, you have She-Hulk kind of associated with that. Then you could have Kate kind of in the crowd, or just sitting on one of the benches, and then, or goes up on the stand, and She-Hulk has to like actually like interview her or talk to her there. That'd be a fun scene.
That's where you get a Kingpin too somehow involved in that sequence.
Yeah, definitely, because he didn't go to the hospital. He was gunshot just in the courtroom.
Walked it off.
Yeah.
She shot me.
Yeah, just pops
She ruined my fucking terrible suit.
The Hawaiian shirt.
Fuck.
But as far as characters go, like I was alluding to this earlier where Travis didn't understand, but it was mentioned in the chat here, obviously, like one of the Blaze members. I'm afraid that you could, like, obviously Donnie Blaze is not Johnny Blaze, is just shown in that featurette. I'm still worried that you might get a Ghost Rider or something shown, like if they just have the guy walk in and he's got like the skull of fire and he's standing in the courtroom and the judge is like, why'd you murder that guy? And he's like, vengeance. You know, I just feel like, oh no. And then it skips to the next like powered person. Yeah, plead the fifth. I don't want them to do my Ghost Rider dirty like that. So, yeah.
Yeah, I hope that doesn't happen. There'll be something. Well, I feel like let's take our next ad break and we'll talk about our last prediction. So we will be right back. And we're back. So we kind of alluded to this, I think, a few times. So I don't have much more to add. But end credits, possible spoilers or scenes, stuff like that. Like I said, for me, it was Val. And then I think just, I don't know if you'll get to, but for some reason I feel like you could get to. I feel like you'll get some of Val Abomination and then just something setting up the next future for, you know, our characters, whether it be Hulk, She-Hulk, both of them. That's what I think.
Yeah, I think one is for Daredevil, and the other one is for that scene I mentioned of She-Hulk and then either Yelena or Kate Bishop. So I think those would be your two.
Know what I would love it if
that one would be the jokey one. The Daredevil one would be like the serious, like MCU setting up the next thing.
Yeah, no, I completely forgot about Daredevil, so I might actually swap that for the She-Hulk Hulk. I would love it if, though, Val tried to recruit Daredevil, and he said, no, I'm not into that. But if you'd see someone turn her down and kind of he senses, like, something's off about this one. Plus, like, my topic on Travis told you, I'd love it if he says no, so she goes and gets Bullseye in place of that. Like, screw this guy. We're going to get,
Farrell.
like, yeah, that Bullseye.
He just, like, karate chops her and then leaves. Like, no.
Bullseye. But that's the end credit of this show. Like, fuck.
Have we retroed that movie on the podcast?
We did, yeah.
Okay. Was I on it?
Nope.
I don't think so. Okay.
No.
We can do it again if you want.
Yeah, we'll bring it back. Daredevil's coming back for the
Every
show.
5 years. We can re-retro that
5
one.
years. Yeah, Kirklin and credits.
Yeah, I agree with the Daredevil one. Definitely setting up that show. It's a perfect place for it. And I don't want to just bring it back again, but yeah, like something like a Val Thunderbolts thing. I think that could be really fitting too. But like, I don't know, pushing back on myself there, like setting up like 2 shows and 2 different end credit scenes, like that might be a little bizarre to have, but
the Abomination thing
more
could,
bizarre
like,
things have happened.
with Val
Sorry?
could happen like mid-season, right?
Yeah,
Because if
yeah, true.
Abomination's not part of your finale fight or something,
Yeah.
that could be like a mid-season thing. I don't know.
Right. Yeah. So, I don't know. It could definitely be like a fourth wall break end credit scene too. I could picture that just being like an easy comedic
Deadpool
one.
shows up.
Oh gosh, in the
Where's the
end credit
wall?
scene. Yeah, I'm low chips on that one, but you never know. I've been wrong many times before. That's funny, Mr. Chuckles over here. Mr.
As
Slurping his
opposed to
soup behind
10
the
out of
mic.
10 tonight. Bullseye's like the Pokemon that can only say his name. Bullseye. He got some.
He's not wrong.
No.
Not wrong.
Very accurate.
Bullseye.
And he like says it, yeah.
And
He
then
says it in
Feige-
different ways to like describe different things that he's feeling.
Bullseye.
And
It's
Val's
just
the
like
Pokemon trainer just throwing out all these Abomination. Yeah.
end credits is him and Groot having a conversation.
Oh,
but,
God.
Feige cameo, yes or no? I'm gonna say yes. I believe those rumors. That's part of the fourth wall that they will address.
Oh, really?
Feige will have appearance. Yeah, that was a long time ago, and it wasn't like a high tier scooper. But I think that would be great if she like. There's all these cameos, and she goes into the office like, I thought this was my show. Like you could make a joke out of the cameo. So I think Feige's going to. I don't know how I feel about it happening here, not Deadpool, but because it just feels strange. But sure, let's do it. Give the man his time
I'm
of
gonna
day.
say Feige hasn't done it yet. I don't think he's doing it at all.
Mm,
Yeah.
there you go.
I don't think he's that kind of guy.
How like what's these rumors? Are these like
I said C tier, so not no. I said they weren't high tier. No.
Okay. With that being said, I still think if it does happen, it would be Deadpool, but I don't know. Like maybe in place of Kevin Feige, like that's where you get the Hugh Jackman cameo. So I'm pretty much 50-50 on this one. Flip my imaginary quarter. I'm gonna say no. I got tails on that flip. I was guessing heads. So
Damn. Good. That was a long journey there.
Damn, telekinetic.
I was trying to
hit-
build as much time so Taylor could slurp
Yeah.
down.
I was ready. I do another slurp in between speeches.
Yeah, it's off camera.
You're very clean. I never hear you on the mic, so credit to you.
Thank
sir.
you. This little pop filter is like perfect because it looks like I'm like sucking something down here.
Yeah, it didn't look good. You look like
You
you're
said what
Karen
we were all
Page
thinking.
from Born Again. Yeah.
Just like your little eyes appearing over the.
Yeah, my precious like Gollum in the. But yeah, end credits and Kevin Feige cameo. Go.
End credits. I'm just gonna have to ride on everyone else's shoulders where I think it's gonna be a Val Julia scene, just kind of doing something. We need some illusion.
I thought her name was Val Julia for some reason. I forgot.
No,
Julia
one or the
Dreyfus.
other.
Okay.
One or the other, yeah. We need some alluding to the Thunderbolts because I think we all could speculate and just kind of piece together. Okay, we got these little kind of components that are leading us towards that, but we didn't really. It's been a dry spell for at least a little bit until we got that confirmation of that title. Like, hey, Thunderbolts, but we still don't know really what Val is up to lately. We've only seen her in two things: Black Widow, and then that not end credit scene, but scattered throughout Falcon Winter Soldier. So, yeah, it's been a while. We need to see her doing
That was
something.
May of last year, right? That show.
I
May-ish?
think so.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Oh well, it was March. It was March. It was actually it was March because it was very close to the Snyder cut. They were like a week apart. So
Right.
Okay.
So
As
it
far
has
as
been a while.
Stan,
You're right.
not Stanley, Feige. As far as Kevin Feige goes, how many Marvel projects in are we now?
I don't know, 30 something.
30. I think he was waiting for the big 3-0, and he was just gonna sneak in there onto something. But
He's waiting for Project 100.
yeah,
It just ends up being the
It's
I Am
coming.
Groot show, and he just fucking shows up in there.
Not even animated. It's just
We're
like
at
him, like
37,
totally
I
out of
think.
place.
37.
37 projects.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. I don't know his like system or format for like what if there is like credibility of the rumor is like him actually
No, it's just
making his
DC.
appearance in it. But I do think that if you're gonna do your first break in the fourth wall kind of treatment, I mean it's just prime, like you gotta Feige-fy it. It's absolutely, it needs it. It requires it. So yes, Deadpool does have that component of breaking the fourth wall, but I like what you mentioned, Kirkland, where you pitched Hugh Jackman. I think you could have a lot of fun with that because they've already alluded to that in like Deadpool 1 where he's got like
I've pitched this
paper.
many times.
I will
first. Don't
take
let-
this. Yeah.
Don't let Kirkland. I've pitched
I'm
the
giving
Hugh
him the
Jackman
credit.
thing in Deadpool so many times.
Did you tonight?
Kirkland told you so.
no,
yeah.
because we're
Told you-
talking about She-Hulk, not Deadpool.
Oh yeah.
Before podcast, I was telling Travis, I'm like, man, Kevin Feige's gonna appear sorry, I can't remember it now. My own prediction.
Yeah, see?
Hugh Jackman's gonna appear in Deadpool.
Wayne Gretzky, Michael Scott moment on that one.
Yeah. Shout out to Sleaziness up, guys. I'm returning late from the gym, but thanks for letting me in the Discord. Enjoy the content. Well, thank you
Oh,
very
yeah.
much, sir. It was a risk when you just let someone in and their name's Sleaze. You go, oh, what's going to happen here? But
Yeah.
no.
See
thank
how long
very-
you last in the Discord. No,
Yeah,
it's been
yeah.
good. It's been good.
But no, thank you very much, and enjoy the madness that goes on in there. So, but yeah, so we'll be reviewing. We'll be back around this time. Actually, the review already dropped of She-Hulk, so we're looking forward to that. And what we're looking forward to maybe is talking about I Am Groot. I Am Groot came out yesterday, 5 episodes, like a total of pretty much 20 minutes, which was talking about our Discord, our personal Discord. That was a big convoluted discussion about figure out how long it was. I would tell Dylan how long it is, and then Taylor's like, so is it the series? Is it the episodes? And stuff like that. But as you notice, I just mostly copy and paste with them. But
It was shocking to learn that it is as short as it is. I mean, that's where I was like, what? I had to do a double take. So
Easiest review we've maybe ever done, just a quick that's I was like, we'll just put in the newscast because I don't know if we need to prep a whole show and everything, but I'm gonna go first because I have to leave soon for Bodies because my screening is in 13 minutes, so I got a trek here. But I really liked it. It's very cute. I actually really like the animation style. It popped. I like that Groot looked like how Groot looks in the movies, and they kind of like made everything look visually like that. In a way, it looks more animated and of course like that. I do think, and I agree with people, that this actually to me would have been smarter if they had put this before MCU movies instead of like a little series. I think that would have been really fun, but I would take more of these. I think they've already announced there is a season 2. I think specifically I like Groot Takes a Bath. I like them all to varying degrees, but Groot Takes a Bath was really fun with the poppiness. He's trying to get his hair back, and there's that bird that was just annoying, and the bird was just so colorful, and I was shocked by the result of he just stripped that bird naked of his hair, and I couldn't believe it. But they're all fun. The kids really liked them. They wanted more, and I was saying this to Marvel Alliance that I hope this leads to them one day doing like a fully animated movie. I don't know if it would have to be in the style I would like it to be, but I would love it if there was like an hour and 12 Groot movie. That is more even catered to kids, stuff like that. Kids movies nowadays aren't doing as well as they used to, like before the pandemic, so maybe they are laying off that gas now. But I hope we do, because I watched these. I enjoyed them all, and I would enjoy. I'm not saying the movie has to be an hour and 12 just little adventures, but I would enjoy just a minute, even if it was a 45-minute movie of something a bit more substantial as far as screen time. But it was good. It's annoying the way Disney Plus like organizes those, so they're separate episodes. You can't just hit
yeah,
play.
it was
And,
very confusing.
you can't just hit play. And
I watched
go.
the first one last because I did not understand the order that it was displaying
Yeah.
them to me.
It's not good, but no, I really enjoyed the show. So I would recommend for everybody, because it's like if you like the MCU, you like Groot, it's literally under 20 minutes. Very easy watch, so.
Yeah, I don't think it's one that you got to subscribe to Disney Plus to check this out. But it was a lot of fun. It was just rotating between laughing the whole way through and then like, oh, so cute. And it was fun. It's short and sweet as far as I'm concerned. And yeah, I'd like to see more of things like this, like just short little journeys. The time period of this is interesting, right? Like after Guardians 1, not necessarily a timeline we need more details filled in on, but it'd be curious if they did that for other characters, just like these short, 20 minutes is like very, very short, but maybe even a little bit longer just for other random characters, go on some side little journey to give you a bit of information. So yeah, I enjoyed it thoroughly all the way through. But yeah, I don't know. It doesn't really reach those same heights as other things just because of the runtime. It's not some deep story by any means.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought it looked good the whole way through. The only thing that looked a bit off for me was Rocket's CGI. I feel like it was not movie quality. He looked a little like half as much budget as he normally has in terms of the animations and such. He's still, you could tell it was Rocket and the voice is all there, but that looked a bit off to me. But yeah, I really liked it. How about you guys?
Yeah. Yeah, I really liked it as well. it's funny. I watched Baymax as well beforehand, and it's a very similar sort of thing where it's just like these very short episodes. But huge like credit to both those shows for like the animation style. Like I feel like they really are able to like do a really good job for like it's these shorts. Like they don't have to like make it that same quality, but I really think they do. I agree with you, Dylan. Like yeah, Rocket. It was it was noticeably like a little bit different than like the quality of the other like just Groot in general and the other characters and stuff. So I hope they keep doing these things and not even just limiting it to MCU, as I mentioned, like the Baymax thing, like that I love Big Hero 6. That is one of my favorite Disney movies. So I just love getting more of those like just little stories with those characters and just jumping back into that world. And the same thing with the Am Groot. So I think it's a really good opportunity to just do it for. I'm not gonna say like Groot is like a lesser character, but just maybe like a quick character that's introduced in something. Like give me that Korg and Meek like little like version of this, right? Like of just those two. I think that could be really fun. And again, like it's just very very short, really cute like shows that just like tickle that comedic fancy that those characters bring, and like that little charm that each individual of those brings. So I really enjoyed it and want to keep doing more. And sorry, did Travis say, season 2, right?
I don't know.
I think he said that. Oh, okay.
I don't think so.
I thought he said that, but
I think it maybe just says like Groot will return. Maybe I don't even think it does that actually. I think I'm going
like Guardians or something. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very weird, but
that's fair.
Yeah, I was actually pleasantly captivated by these. Now, I too was I wasn't sure like the viewing order of this, but I happened to have found the first one where he was still in the pot, which is good, and like his first steps, I believe. But they were very cute. You're definitely right. There was something off with the CGI going on with Rocket, and I was trying hard to like even listen to the voice because at times it sounded like Rocket, and other times it didn't sound like him. And I thought,
I think it definitely was Bradley Cooper, but maybe
in the end, yeah,
maybe he was like on his iPhone, and just called him.
In traffic, like just talking Bluetooth.
Yeah. But overall, I thought they were very fun, very cute. I like the one where he's growing himself and he's doing like the different like stylings and everything like that. It was a lot of fun.
That was my favorite.
Yeah.
And I liked when he did the card with Rocket. That the Rocket one is probably actually my favorite, even though the CGI was a little wonky. But I just loved how the dialogue and just seeing Rocket in there because Rocket's one of my favorite Guardians. So it was really really good. Some of them were actually quite. I don't want to say morbid, but just like, whoa. Because like I was really jiving with the one where the mini people were like, they were doing slings. And all of a sudden they whipped out all this high-tech weaponry and the music changes. And then they brought in like air superiority and it was really, really funny. And yeah, he just wanted to do the right thing and he stepped on them. I was like, oh my God, they all died. And then like the bird Travis alluded to earlier where he just shaves that thing. Like,
I mean, dude, those guys pop out of the rock at the end. They're not dead.
That's true. Yeah.
Maybe some of them are, I guess, but I think generally they're okay.
Yeah, but definitely good. I'm excited for more.
Here's my quick ranking. Number 1, Groot takes a bath. Number 2, the little guy. That's the little rock one. Number 3, Groot's first steps. Number 4, Magnum Opus. Number 5, Groot's pursuit. That one was fine. It was good. I think it was maybe the one I like the least. That's the one where he has like the water opponent.
Yeah.
I like when he kind of went all big for a second, came back. They're all good, but there you go. That's my ranking.
I didn't even rank them actually. I'll have to pop them up. Definitely the bathtub one was the most fun for me. I think Shay and I both really enjoyed that one. So they're all like even the lesser ones. I feel like it wasn't like, oh, this is noticeably the worst one out of all. Like it was just all pretty much par, and it was same thing with the Baymax show for me. Like it was just they were all in the equal quality, I guess. Like there's some moments that shine in a certain episode over others, but like still I just enjoyed the whole collection of all the episodes. So that's a very unfair ranking. They're all great. Everybody gets a participation medal.
I got a question. Okay, so we did our character draft thing at the start of the year. Travis, he picked Groot, so it's like this is short, but like he still gets his 25 points. Like Groot leads the show, right? Like that's we got to give it to him.
I would say
Rocket was advertised. I think that was me. Now, what about Drax? Okay, I got to ask about this because Dave Bautista obviously not there, but it's obviously Drax in the shower, and you do see him. I have skin in the game because Drax is on my list, so I want those unannounced points. I think I've earned it.
I would grant it because Rocket even confirmed this is Drax's soap.
Yes.
So I think that's a lock in my opinion.
Dave Bautista, no. Drax, yes.
Drax, yes. Dave, no.
Yeah, I would say to make it official, we should wait for the fourth member of the draft. You know, we
Well,
have to assemble the.
majority's good, I think.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay, I'll give it to you. You've won me over. You've
Damn.
won me
All
over.
right.
Yeah.
There you go. I needed some extra points so that.
I feel I'm like throwing out pity votes just because I'm absolutely dominating the video game draft. So
You are, yeah,
let's go with that.
Cool.
Yeah, awesome.
Well, I think that's it for that, and we got our Predator rankings.
Hell yeah.
Travis, he dropped
Taylor
his.
starts or Dylan starts off.
Okay, number 1, Prey.
Yeah.
Number 2,
The Predator. You were
The
there for
Predator,
that one. Yeah. Theater going experience. 10 out of
That's
10. Movie
that's my
quality.
ranking.
Yeah. Sorry, Taylor. Okay.
No. Go ahead. Like, if you legit want to do some rankings, Dylan, like, toss them in. I wasn't sure if you actually ranked them.
I've only seen those two.
I threw it to him
Start
for meme
finish, so
purposes.
Oh, damn. I was ready to roll. Wow, let's go.
Taylor's
I
always
will
ready to roll.
happily put Prey at number 1. Fantastic. There you go.
Do you want to read off Travis's? Or you want me to, Kirklin?
I'll let you do it. You started, and then I rudely interjected.
No.
I had to drop my
So-
meme comment
Oh, no.
quickly before it got swept under the rug.
Well, Travis has listed The Predator as number 1. I'm just kidding. He put Prey as his number 1.
Oh, nice.
Ooh,
Yes.
spicy.
Put
pick.
Predator, the original, at number 2. Predators at number 3. Predator 2 at number 4. And The Predator at number 5.
Which one comes first, Predators or Predator 2?
Predators happens in between Predator and Predator 2, I would say.
But what was the
But
release
like
order?
chronology, yeah.
Oh, definitely Predator 2 and then
Okay.
Predators.
God, that's confusing.
It didn't go the alien route or alien and then aliens.
Yeah.
That would have been perfect.
Absolutely.
Okay.
What do you got,
I'll
Kirkland?
go. Yeah, I'll let you, rest your mouth since you just listed off the list. Funny enough, I didn't even have The Predator in my rankings. I completely forgot about that movie, and that's the second last movie to come out, so that probably says a lot right there. So, yeah, starting from I'll keep it the same. Starting at number 1, I have Predator with Arnold, the classic
Ooh.
original. It's so close, like Prey and Predator. Prey's number 2 for me, but it's just like Predator just started this like whole thing with Arnie, and like Arnie was just in his prime in that moment. All the super cheesy lines is just so fitting because like that is kind of what started the cheesy lines. Like at the time, it wasn't even like a cheesy line. It was just like, this is an action movie with big, greasy looking, and by greasy I mean just they're oiled up in their muscles because they're all just jacked and just ready to go. And like it's just it really like ages in a certain way where it's like, okay, yeah, it's dated in the sense, and some of the comments they make are really dated, and like some of the humor in that sense, and just like, yeah, like the get to the chopper, like that's just said, like referenced in so many like instances, but it's referenced because this movie was just such a super powerhouse at the time. What's so funny, Mr. Chuckles?
Just thinking of Billy, like, there's something out there. We're all going to die. It's so negative.
Yeah, you don't want him on your team. So, anyways, Predator, the original, then Prey, Predators. I have number 3, Predator 2, number 4, and then The Predator, not even on my list, but if I have to put it, it's number 5.
It made it in your top 5 at least.
Yeah. Until the next one comes out.
Yeah.
I mean, hopefully it's better than that.
Ooh, S-Bub's in the chat. He's dropping his. Number 1 is Prey. Number 2
There
is
you go.
Predators. Number 3 is Predator 2. Number 4 is Predator.
Predator 5.
Holy.
The numbers are throwing me off. 4 is
Yeah.
Predator. And then 5 is The Predator. God damn.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That's a good
S-Bub's
ranking.
really like that wild that wild sex scene from Predator 2. That's probably why it's so high.
For my ranking, this is really, really tough. And I know, like, we didn't incorporate Alien versus Predator into this, and it bothers
You
me a
can.
lot.
I'm
No,
making
because
that rule right now.
Travis will get mad at me. Alien versus Predator, like for my case here, like, yes, they have the alien component as well, but those are like true. Those are Predator movies to the core, especially Alien versus Predator Requiem. I feel like that one is a strong Predator film. And the Predator in that is probably my favorite Predator in the entire franchise. And there's just so much Predator stuff that tops everything else. So it's hard to reorganize my list without those in there. But I would, and this is something I've really been torn on between Prey and Predators for my number one, because like I love Prey and I like a lot of what it did, but then with Predators, it's got so many moments that are just speaking to me, like the action, just craziness, and getting into this expanded part of the Predator world. It just felt like a comic book adapted into the movie, and I really jive with that. And again, one of my favorite movie scenes of all time, Predator in the tree. I mean, it's just
Top
I
tier.
can't argue with that. So I'd probably put Predators as my number one. Prey would be number two. Predator would be number three, because it's definitely, it's a good feel good movie at times. You know, just put it on in the background. Just got some good action, classic stuff, the one liners, everything you're talking about, Kirkland. I reiterate that. I I like I like the Predator for certain things that they did. It just seeing Dylan, your face, seeing
gonna
things
do
in the
it?
Predator and getting just to have that like modern day 2018 movie theater budget just with a Predator film. As sloppy as the story was, I just was so satisfied with getting everything that we got in that movie with the ships and everything. But at the end of the day, the takeaway is that they just full on hamsies went CGI with a full on Predator, and that's not copacetic in my books. That's definitely a takeaway when all the Predators in the past have been practical costume designs with some CGI implemented in there. So that's why, like, it's close, but I'm still bumping the Predator to my fifth slot and Predator 2 into my fourth, because you get just the Lost Tribe, you get all those other Predators in there, you get the trophy case room. Like,
It's true.
it's just
Phenomenal
great.
scene. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So that is my ranking, and it'll definitely be subject to change when we do Alien versus Predator.
I'm so excited for those, Taylor, because I definitely like, it's one of those things where like I just see it through the eyes of a kid when I just love that movie. Like I remember just totally fucking love the moment the Predator teams up with the human, and it's just, as you mentioned, Taylor, you love those moments. I'm completely in your camp. I love those moments too. And then I rewatched it like not recently, maybe 5 or 6 years ago. Honestly, I still loved it. So like, yeah, let's see. I wasn't in the heat of podcasting. I didn't have like the critical movie going eye to it, but I think there was a lot of nostalgia there that just helped, because like all the scenes that I really loved kind of just held it together.
Have you ever seen the second one?
I think we've talked about this where like I had found it on like some jank website or something. It was like a cam, and it was just like I like couldn't really see what was going on, so I watched like the first 10 minutes, and it was just, I wasn't loving it, and it was the quality and just what I was seeing I wasn't loving, so it was just not the best time. But I'm excited to go through like in a fresh, like, good version and everything.
When we retro that, there is an extended version of that movie with some extra scenes. It's so freaking good.
3 hours and 40 minutes, like
I
Fellowship.
wish.
Yeah.
Oh, I wish. But it's fantastic.
Super bad Mike
Mike.
in the chat. You beat me to it.
No. You read it off. You read it off.
His ranking: number 1, going with Prey. Number 2, Predator, the original. Number 3, Predator. Oh, fuck, I get it now, Taylor. Oh my gosh, I'm like, Predator's 4. We missed the movie on the retro. Okay, sorry. Starting with the
These
top
commas
again.
are
Number
in
1.
a bad spot. I gotta say, Mike.
I wasn't gonna
come
say
on.
anything. Super bad,
Where are
Mike. We
your
love you.
commas?
So number 1, Prey. Number 2, Predator. Number 3, Predators. Number 4, Predator 2. Number 5, The Predator by a huge gap, all caps. I think we see where you're coming from, Super bad, Mike. Apologize for butchering that, but yes, commas confusing. That's funny.
Well, there we go. I think that is literally everything. You guys have any remaining thoughts you want to shout out?
No, it's a great
I
night.
don't think so. That was very fun. Yeah.
Okay, that's popping. Well, thank you again, everyone, for tuning in, and we will be back with a multitude of reviews. And Travis, again, for his Travis Told Yous on the daily. So we'll see you in the search bar.
Bye, everyone.